Welcome to the Weekday Report for Tuesday, August 20th. I'm Joe Potente. Here's a brief look at the news. Some Kenosha Unified Schools will be exempt from the district's new policy of keeping class sizes at 25:1 or lower. The school board voted Monday night to approve 9 of 12 elementary school waiver requests. Waivers were granted for Forest Park, Grant, Greveno, Harvey, Jefferson, Nash, Roosevelt, Strange, and Wilson schools. Requests were denied for Southport and Whittier, while McKinley's was withdrawn. The school's principals were called on individually to explain why they were seeking the waivers. Also Monday night, the school board approved a preliminary 2013-14 district budget that includes funds to hire nearly 115 additional teachers. Those positions will be funded with nearly $9 million in savings culled from other projected expenses. The total projected budget won't be known until all revenues are verified from state aid and other areas, but Board President Rebecca Stevens said it must be balanced and below state-imposed revenue caps. The Kenosha City Council once again took a stand Monday night against cell phone use while driving. Aldermen voted unanimously to use a $13,100 surplus from a minivan purchase to buy signage to be erected in school and construction zones in the city. The signs will remind drivers of the dangers of cell phone usage while driving. Kenoshan Gary Coonage spoke at the public hearing on the item, sharing his family's story of the tragic death of his son, Devin, who was killed in 2011 by a driver who had been talking on a cell phone. Kennedy Drive will remain closed to traffic after 7 p.m. thanks to another action by the council. In addition, Simmons Island will retain its current access. Alderman Kevin Mathewson sponsored 2 resolutions designed to give more access to the 2 parks, while Alderman Rocco Lamacchio Sr. authored a resolution to maintain the gate closing policy on Kennedy Drive. At Monday's council meeting, a show of hands revealed most of the people in the gallery were in favor of keeping the current hours, and all but one of the public comment speakers expressed satisfaction with the current situation. A Kenosha woman recently spent 6 months in India volunteering with kids as a member of United Planet, an international nonprofit organization that matches volunteers with places and people who need help in more than 40 countries. Donna Matthews said she wanted to experience the culture and traditions of India while working with children. The 47-year-old Matthews left the U.S. on January 11th and returned June 28th. She hopes to return to India next year to continue mentoring a 15-year-old girl whom she is now helping to send to college. What's trending today? The highest paid Wisconsin state employee is the chief officer of the State Retirement Fund, and his compensation is expected to top $800,000 this year. Is that too much for any public worker to make? Or is it appropriate for an administrator who oversees $94 billion in assets? Tell us what you think on our Facebook page. Kenosha's Dinosaur Discovery Museum welcomed some new resident artifacts on Monday. Here's Kathy Troher with the story.
The fruits of the Carthage College Institute of Paleontology's latest dinosaur dig in Montana were unloaded at the Dinosaur Museum on Monday. Carthage students and volunteers who spent a month in the Hell Creek Formation Range uncovered bone fragments of a 2-year-old T-Rex and a 600-pound piece of the frill of a Triceratops, among other things.
If a bone can be identified, it's another fit in the big puzzle of completing the picture of dinosaur biology. And that's what we are, is we're dinosaur biologists, and we want to learn how they evolved and grew up and lived. So each little piece, everything that we find, each fossil is a part of that bigger picture.
So he's been working on this same bone, reconstructing it from these small little fragments or little things like this.
Like putting together a puzzle.
Like putting together a 3D jigsaw puzzle that you don't have a picture for. The pieces don't fit together properly anyway, and you're not exactly sure what it's supposed to look like when it comes out anyway at the end. So the lab work can take a really long time sometimes.
The artifacts will be cleaned up for research and possible display at the museum. For the Kenosha News, this is Kathy Troher.
Thanks, Kathy. Now here's a look at what we're working on today. The City Transit Commission is holding off on acting on the mayor's proposal for streetcar expansion. Janine Anderson is checking into that. And new data will be released today on free and reduced lunch program use and ACT scores. Terry Flores and Jill Roselle are looking into both stories. Pick up a copy of the Kenosha News and check kenoshanews.com for all the details on these stories and more. I'm Joe Potente with the Weekday Report.